Hi, this is Krively again with another pen review. Today we are going to talk about a Lamy fountain pen. It's the Lamy Studio that I'm going to talk about today and that I'm going to review today, which comes in this little cardboard package here that's familiar from many other Lamy fountain pens, and I got mine from the pen company in England, and I'll link them in the blog post to this video review here. Mine came with a converter, and I'll show you the converter in a bit, and it also came with a blue ink cartridge that it was supplied with in case you don't have bottled ink or if you don't want to use converters. What I can already say now is that the Lamy Studio is like a really nice and solid pen, and I personally think that it's a very underestimated pen, and one also doesn't see so many reviews of it. One doesn't see the pen that much, like it's not being talked about so much, and I'm not really sure why that is, because I find it's like a really solid pen. It costs around 35 to 50 euro. Depends a little bit on where you get it, on Amazon or from a dealer in a shop or something like that. And I got that one here in a color which is called Imperial Blue. I'm not sure how well the camera picks up the color that well. But anyway, I'll also have close-up pictures in the accompanying blog post, so you can also have a look at a little bit closer look at the pen there. So that one here is the Imperial Blue one, but it's also available in black and silver for the same price. And then there's like sort of a luxury version of that pen, I believe in anthracite and palladium, which comes with 14K gold nib then. The standard version that I have here has the regular Lamy steel nibs that are very nice nibs. So maybe I can already say that I think that that pen is, it's a pen that I can recommend, definitely. I can already say that. And I think it's a pen that is exactly especially good if you are probably just started using fountain pens. You've used them now for a little while. You figured out that you're really into fountain pens, that you like them, and you probably had a Pilot Metropolitan or a Lamy Safari as an entry model or an AL or something like that, and you're now looking towards upgrading your fountain pen game a little bit. So to speak, that is like you seek to move towards the next price level or quality category or whatsoever, then the Studio might really be what you're looking for, because it costs about double or triple than what a Lamy Safari costs. Yeah, it has definitely better quality. Let's open the pen for a second. I have that one here inked up with J. Herbin Eclat de Saphir, which is one of my favorite blue inks. And because I've just talked about upgrading your fountain pen, one thing that you need to be careful with, that is if your Studio fountain pen doesn't come already supplied with a converter, as it was with mine that came from the pen company in the UK, is that you make sure that you buy the right converter. We've talked about upgrading your fountain pen game, let's say from a Safari, and the Lamy Safari, if you've used bottled ink with a converter, has a converter with a red turning knob here, which is the Z24 converter. The Studio here needs that converter, which is called Z26, and it has a black turning knob here. So just be sure to buy the right converter, not to be disappointed. So let's have a look at the pen first. The pen is a bit thicker in the middle and slightly tapered towards both sides of the end. Let's start by looking at the cap here. I mean, it's an all metal body. The cap is silver here at the top. I really like the design of the cap because it has this the whole pen has a very lovely design. It's this minimalist design that the pen has going on. It's an absolutely flawless pen. Very beautiful, very minimalistic design. Not a lot going on. Very straight lines, and then the sort of like design topping, which is this this twisted clip here that is a little bit reminiscent of an airplane propeller or something like that. It's very, very tight, very stiff. You can use it to attach the shirt to your the pen to your shirt, but it's a bit difficult. I mean, this is one of the tighter clips. I know it's springy, but it's usable. But it's quite tight. So then you have the Lamy logo going on here at the top of the cap. And the pen, I also don't know how well the camera picks that up in the light. Yeah, you see it a little bit. I mean, it's a really nice dark blue, and the blue has, depending on how the light shines on it, it has some sparkly things going on there. So it sparkles and glitters a little. I don't know if one can see that. You'll definitely see it in the pictures that accompany that video review on my blog that I've shot. You see it. So that's that. I mean, that's a really nice feature, I think, of that pen, that depending on how the light falls on the pen, it slightly changes its color appearance in a way. It's a blue that almost tends towards purple a little bit. And then you have the back of the pen here, which is also silver metal. And it has sort of a little ring here. And I'll get to that ring in a bit. Now you see it much better. And I'll explain to why it has that ring, which has to do with the posting. So let's uncap the pen. That is a very smooth thing. It's like not a screw-on cap. It's a slide-on. It's like a push-on cap. Works very, very flawless. We have the metal section here. So there are many people that say that the metal section of that pen is slippery when writing. Personally, I've not had any issues with that whatsoever. It is metal, it is shiny, it does pick up fingerprints, but actually not so much. I mean, like, I've used that pen now for a week on a daily basis, and you can definitely see some fingerprints, but I mean, I've definitely seen worse. It's not that bad. I have the pen with a fine nib here. That is the normal, regular Safari, Lamy Safari or Lamy steel nibs that one knows. Like, they are swappable. So if you, for example, already have a Lamy Safari with a broad nib and you buy now that one with a fine nib, you can swap nibs if you like by just pulling down the nib. So yeah, the section, some say it's slippery. I've personally not had any issues with that. It was always fine with me to write with that pen. So there were no issues whatsoever. Maybe like another word to the finish, like the nice thing about like this, it doesn't feel really like, I mean, like you feel that it's a metal pen, but it doesn't really feel like a metal pen because like the finish is like really soft. It's like satiny, silky. It's because like it's a little bit a slightly roughed finished here. It's slightly roughed, and it feels really like, yeah, it feels like really soft, like sort of like if you touch silk or satin or something like that. So that's really, really lovely. It's really pleasant to touch. So that ring here that you see is actually, if I turn the pen, is the same ring that you see here in front. Reason being, it has to do with posting the pen, because if I close the pen like this, you hear a click. And when I post the pen, you'll hear the same click here. Or almost the same click here. So reason being is like when you post the pen through that ring behind, like the pen posts really securely. So there's no chance this cap is going to come off. And the nice thing is you can really post the cap of the pen, and you can just, you know, if you've posted it like that, now that might be a little bit uncomfortable here, you just turn it like that. I mean, like it's easily turnable, and because it sort of rotates on that ring behind there, you're not worried, or you don't have to be worried at all that you scratch the finish of the pen. And as you can see here, the cap posts really perfectly. I mean, the gap is almost the same everywhere around that gap here. And when you hold the pen, it's not sharp at all. So there's no, I can do that here and like it doesn't pain. I don't even feel it. So it's really nice. Like the pen is perfectly usable posted. The length is perfect. It doesn't get top heavy whatsoever. I personally prefer to write most of my pens unposted. That's just sort of what I'm used to. So I prefer to write the pen like that. Then it has like, it's a perfectly balanced pen. It doesn't matter whether it's posted or whether it's unposted. So I'm really happy with that. So I think that's all there's to it with the pen. What I could do maybe, I have a short side comparison. As always, I'm not taking measurements and stuff like that, but I can throw in another pen that is fairly common and that people use a lot. So the size is sort of like known. People are familiar with the size, which is the Pilot MR. So if we compare the capped sizes, almost even the proportions of the cap and body, like the cap of the Lamy closes here, is almost exactly the same. And when I uncap them, the picture doesn't change very much. The Lamy is a bit longer, slightly longer, and posted. Let's see what happens when I post both pens. Still the same picture with the Lamy being slightly longer. So you could probably say that if you're good to write with the Pilot, if that's the right size for you, then I'm pretty much convinced that you will also not have a problem with the Lamy Studio, which is a really nice pen. So then to the end of the review, let's get to just a very short writing sample here. I mean, it's like really those familiar Lamy nibs. So this now has a problem with starting to write because I had it uncapped for a while for the review here. This is the Lamy Studio. The color is Imperial blue. It's a fine nib. And it writes as one is used from the Safari and the AL nibs. It's a very smooth nib. It's a steel nib. There is not much line variation that one can get out of that nib. Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to do that also. It's a steel nib, as said. Wetness is all right, moderate, depending on the ink that you use, of course. The J. Herbin Eclat de Saphir is a slightly wetter ink. I like it. It has a very, very nice flow coming from that pen. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.